So the next section of your business plan is your marketing and sales strategy. And before I talk about that, I think something important to note. As a business person, you must be clear about how your products are distributed and consumed. And these are aligned to your marketing and your sales strategy. Now, for sales, a lot of your thinking should be, one, how are you distributing this product and how are they getting through to the customers that will consume them? And then for marketing, much more, you should be aligned and your thinking should be, how will people be convinced to consume your product? And even how is the product consumed? So whilst many times we lump in sales and marketing together, but there's just a little bit of nuance in there. And obviously this would differ by industries. For some, they're absolutely the same. Okay, now, speaking about distribution, so is it a huge and logistic intensive business, in which case you need to send products across large distances, that will determine the kind of sales strategy you're going to implement. So are you going to use a lot of agents, or are you going to actually build the infrastructure required to send these products across those large distances, right? And then speaking of marketing, at the end of the day, you just want market share and you want wallet share from your customers. So it's really about convincing them that your product is the right one and on all the various ways in which you achieve this. To show you how important these two components are. So for instance, you've got a good sales team, all right? Your channels are well developed and your products always arrive at the customers, either the warehouses or the shops or distribution centers on time. However, you do not have the kind of mind share or wallet share from your customers that you want. So you've got warehouses that are piling with products, and because you've not implemented a really good marketing strategy or advertising strategy, your products actually aren't getting to the end user, or they're not getting consumed by the end user as you'd require. Conversely, you could have a situation where you've done a fantastic job with marketing. Everyone wants your product, but you've got poor distribution, poor sales, and such. Your products aren't getting to your customers. At the end of the day, customers are frustrated. They can't get your products when they want them, and so they resort to other products. In the long run, you lose revenue. You spend so much in marketing, doing a good job, but just because your channels haven't been properly implemented, you lose the customers you worked so hard to build. So these two work hand in hand, and the two teams must speak with each other. They must align in their plans and in their thinking. And overall, I think once you have a good sales and marketing team and plan in place, your product should get to the customers, and customers should give you the kind of patronage you expect. Obviously, pricing is a very important part of your sales and marketing strategy. And depending on what the product or service is, many times you would have to come to a point where you decide, are you going to compete on price or are you going to compete on quality? When you choose to compete on price, you need to be clear how long can you sustain. So for instance, if you're going to start with discounts or price cuts, how long can those be sustained without getting your business into a financially periled position? So you need to be clear from the get-go what your pricing strategy is and how this will compare vis-a-vis the products that are in the market, and then you can go into the other aspects of your marketing and sales plan. Now, the next part of your business plan would be your team. And talking about your team, there's two key things that you need to be clear about in writing your business plan. One, what are the functional rules that you require for your business? And two, what are the skills each of those roles requires, specific skill sets? And then once that is clear, once you're clear on that, then you also need to talk about the people that have been hired to fill those roles and how their experiences fit in with the experience and the skill sets that you've already said those roles require. It could be on the basis of their academic experience or exposure, or their actual work experience which they've garnered over probably from similar roles in past organizations. But more often than not, the advice is don't get fixated on academic qualifications and all of that, but be certain that your team can deliver on the task that those roles require. That's one of the key things that a lot of investors will be looking out for, and other stakeholders. You also need to have a general and broad organizational structure that shows how all of these functional roles fit into the respective boxes. So do you have a divisional structure or departments and all of that? How do those roles fit in together and work together with themselves? That's one. You also need to clarify, so today, have you got the full complement of skill sets and the team that you want in place? Or are there current gaps in the organizational structure? So those gaps could be because you've not been able to identify people to fill that role, in which case you need to be clear what the plan is to get those people in place. Or it could be such that those are roles that will be required in the future once the business has reached a certain milestone. Again, you need to clearly state that and also what the plan would be in the future and how you're going to identify the point in time that role needs to be filled. Overall, your document and talking about team needs to be very clear and specific and show that the skill sets needed to execute on the business plan are in place or are in the process of getting in place. Then if you want to, you could also show details of how your team is expected to expand over time as the business grows and gets enlarged. And, either to other locations, in which case you're just replicating a structure you've got in one location elsewhere, or you're opening new business lines and where you would require new skill sets, what the plan is for those. Like we had said earlier, much more focus on people who can execute on the plan than academic qualifications. So more focus on experience and ability to execute on the plan. And then again, look, you want to develop leaders within your organization. They will make your job easier and your task lighter. And you can focus on other things that truly matter instead of killing fires all the time.